For anybody who does care, the past few days on YouTube, you could see videos about the Switch 2 leaks that supposedly happened. It comes from this subreddit called r/gaming leaks and rumors, and apparently this was posted saying that there was photos of a Switch 2 and factory prototypes that have leaked on a Chinese website. Of all things, it was China that leaked the Switch. That's kind of funny when you think about it. I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit and also talk about the Switch in general and how the new console or whatever they do come up with, whether it's a Switch 2 or just an entirely different new console that comes out, is probably more exciting to me personally, at least, than like the PS5 or the Xbox. But first, let's just look at the leaks. First things first, I am not going to be showing any photos. On the off chance that these leaks are even real, this guy is a 3D modeling enthusiast, so even though he has a bit more credibility, we can't take his word for everything, right? And all we have to go by is these pictures of what seems to be a 3D modeled rendered version of what seems to be the Switch 2. I'm looking through these right now, and if all these are true, then this looks kind of decent. This actually looks pretty good and pretty sleek. But essentially, take this all with a grain of salt, as you know, I can't confirm any of this. I don't know if anybody really can fully 100% confirm any of these leaks, but nonetheless, I just still want to talk about it because I think it's pretty interesting and it interests me personally. And in the pictures that they show, it seems to be that it was leaked on a Chinese website, and it actually shows a pair of Joy-Con shells for the new Nintendo console, and it seems that they're switching from the rail system to a magnetic clip-on system. It seems they're going to use a tiny magnet at the bottom and top of the rail, or the stub that sticks out of the Joy-Con, and then it clips into the Switch. One of the big differences you can see though is that there's another button that seems to be right below the home button on the right Joy-Con, which might be a new feature, a new button, which, you know, I can only speculate is gonna be for an entirely different function. And if that's the case, that seems pretty cool, and I'm honestly excited to see what that would be. In the next few photos, you can actually see pictures of the actual tablet itself, the Switch tablet, and it's a little bit bigger. And I mean, it does state that down here, right here. It says the size is going to be 206 in width, 115 in height, and 14 millimeters thick. Now, the big difference you could see in these photos is that there is a USB-C port not only at the bottom but on top of the Switch, which to me indicates that that is going to be used as another way to charge your Switch, or you can even use wired earbuds that use a USB-C as a headphone jack. That USB-C port on top is probably going to be there for, you know, other accessories that the Switch will probably launch with. The actual screen itself seems to be just like the Switch OLED, and you actually get to use a lot more of the screen. And again, in the leaks, it states here that it's going to be an 8-inch display, which is pretty cool, and it's really big, and hopefully it's a 1080p as well. Other than that, that's pretty much what the leaks have to show. For specs, they even have a supposed spec sheet that was also leaked with it. Basically, the biggest difference you'll notice is that it will have 2 fans to cool the copper gaming heatsink that actually is supposed to come with, supposedly. It's going to have 2 6-gig sticks of dual channel LPDDR5X, which I'm not really sure what that means, but I'm assuming, because my PC currently has DDR4 RAM sticks, and they all run at a speed of 32 MT/s. So the Switch here is going to be apparently DDR5, which is, I guess, the next gen specs that I don't have in my PC, and it's going to have 7500 MTS, which is faster than the ones I have in my PC. That's just to give you a little bit of a reference there. Network chip is actually going to be much better than what we currently have, where even if you have like 1 GB internet speeds, you can't actually utilize the full speed on your Switch or Switch OLED, even though the Ethernet port is there. And that's because the internet chip, network chip that's installed into these consoles can't run that fast. But with this, it's saying that for at least Ethernet, if you connect your Switch dock with an Ethernet cable, it's going to have a gigabit Ethernet chip that you can actually use to utilize a higher speed. This will make downloading games and software much faster. But like I said, all of this is just supposedly a leak, and it can't really be confirmed 100%. Now, what I can say though is that if this is really the next console we're getting from Nintendo, a Switch 2, another Switch just upgraded with like actual better specs, overall that's fine with me. I just really want to play games at 60 FPS consistently. As for 4K and stuff like that, I wouldn't really care about that. Probably be fine with 1440p, but since they're working with Nvidia, I can only speculate that the Switch, if it does support 4K, that will probably be a 4K upscaled, not native, and that it would only be at 4K, when it's docked. It's already been a couple months, but these past few months, people have rumored that the Switch 2 is going to be as powerful as a PlayStation 4 when playing in handheld mode, as powerful as a PlayStation 4 Pro when it's docked. Honestly, a lot more power than what we have right now. It's not next gen power like we have currently, but at the same time, the PS5 and Xbox still release games on their old gen consoles, so any game that you have on Xbox Series X is most likely gonna be on Xbox One, which to me shows that they never really moved to the next gen. But point is, the Switch is one of those consoles, to me personally, the next Nintendo console, whatever that may be, is more exciting because Nintendo actually has exclusives that you just can't get on PC. I don't own a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, but I do have a Nintendo Switch, and even though it's the weakest console of them all, it is the most fun and the most exclusive of them all because it actually has games that I want to play. Any game that's on Xbox I can probably play on my PC, and any exclusive that comes out on PlayStation will end up on PC later on. There's really no real reason to get either of those two consoles over a Switch, and hopefully whatever console they release next is truly just more powerful, and at least powerful enough that it can get a lot more third-party support. Because think about how cool it would be to play something like EAFC 25. I honestly would be down to get third-party games on the Switch too that can actually support them and actually run them. But again, that's just what I think, and personally I'm more excited to see what Nintendo comes out with next, and hopefully it's going to be soon, either by the end of this month or early October they release something about the new console. And when it does, and they have the whole trailer and everything, and they announce it, I will be there no matter what. But that's just how I feel about it personally. And again, these leaks can't be confirmed 100% real, but if they are real, then it seems like the next Switch will definitely be powerful enough to support third-party games and be able to play Nintendo's first-party games at a much better resolution and a much better frame rate, a much more stable frame rate. Most likely it's not true, and most likely these aren't actually real leaks, but it does give me a little bit of hope. But yeah, that's all for now. See ya.
Subscribe, bozo.